Hi art students! Today we're going to be making the support for our encaustic project. We're going to start with some masking tape and we're just going to tape off all four edges of our piece of wood with some masking tape to create a border. Next we're going to measure so that we get even squares for our plaster pouring. And we're just going to make a little mark so we know where we're going to tape next. Then we're going to lay a piece of masking tape on all three areas so that we've also taped off that area so when we go and lay our plaster on, we have even spaces. To make sure we wear gloves for this next part, we don't want to get plaster on our skin. It's not going to hurt you, it's just more messy and it's easier to clean up if you have gloves on. It's also very important that you're wearing your mask. You do not want to get plaster dust in your nose or in your mouth. It is not good for your lungs. We're going to do 1 cup plaster with half of a cup of water. So that's a 2-to-1 ratio, and that's going to give your plaster the correct consistency that we need for this project. And go ahead and take a stick and we're just going to stir the plaster, making sure that you get out any big chunks. You want the plaster to be the consistency of like a thick and creamy peanut butter. All right, when we have it all stirred up, we're going to take our trowel, which is this red thing. They also come in metal, and we're going to use it to spread the plaster onto our wooden panel. This is going to create a nice surface to work on for our encaustic. And encaustic is nothing more than painting in hot wax. So this will give us the right surface for doing that. You want to go ahead and spread and lay the plaster on. We're going to lay it on fairly thick, and don't be too concerned about it being perfectly smooth. We will take some sandpaper to it before we continue tomorrow. So we want a nice thick but even layer of plaster. You want to let the plaster sit for a few minutes, but while it's still in the drying stages, you want to remove the tape so that you get a nice straight line. So make sure you're still wearing your gloves. Go ahead and peel all the pieces of tape around the borders and from the center to create 3 separate plaster panels. And when you're finished, you'll have something that looks like this, and you'll be ready for tomorrow's day of using the encaustics. You want to take your entire bucket of plaster that's left over and throw it right into the trash can. And then you want to take your tools and wipe them off with a paper towel. You do not want to wash them in the sink because plaster cannot go down the drain. That would be very bad for the plumbing system. So do your best to just wipe off your tools with a paper towel, and then if you have just a little bit left on, you can rinse them off in the sink. Okay. And then make sure before you leave for the day, you've also wiped the table down with a damp sponge to get all of the plaster off of the table as well. And you can take your plaster piece and put it on your shelf until tomorrow's class.